Hey guys, Lockley here, and this is third part of my Wormhole guides. If you haven't heard first two parts, please check them out, they're in description. And in this part I will explain in details how do you roll wormholes. What is rolling? Rolling is closing wormhole by reaching its mass limit. Important moment here is even if wormhole have remaining mass limit 1, you would be still able to get through it with any ship that is in wormhole mass limits. So if it has positive mass limit, you will be still able to get through it. Why do you need to roll? Rolling is actually a great instrument to search for content. Maybe PvP content or PvE content, like a wormhole system with a lot of anomalies. And roll can be used as defense, so you just close random wormholes that lead to your system to farm in peace. You can check specific hole mass limits on Anoix. An important thing to notice is that it have a kind of random, like 2 billions plus minus 10%. So it can be 1 billion, 1.8 billion, or it can be 2.2 billion. And you never know what is actual mass of wormhole. You just have approximate. Now let's get to ships that you'll need to roll, and I'll show Galanti ships, but actually you can use any ship you want. It's just size matter, so you can use any faction battleship or any Hector or any cruiser, it doesn't matter. For base roll, I use Megatron. It should have 500 mN micro drive and large Higgs and core. It has mass around 200 kilotons without micro drive. And if you turn it on, it will be around 300 kilotons. So I will reference this with MVD and without MVD as cold and hot getting through. Second ship you will need is Hector. Hector can fit 0-point mass entanglers that reduce its mass dramatically, and that is great models. And it uses oversized afterburner. And with Higgs, of course. Cold mass with mass entanglers will be below 1 kiloton, and hot mass with 100 mN afterburner turned on around 130 kilotons. If you are space poor and don't want to buy Hector, you can use cruiser like Thorax with 100 mN afterburner and without Higgs. It will weigh around 11 kilotons with cold and around 60 kilotons hot. You will understand further why is this important, why these muscles are important. And last preparation we need is to know what does wormhole info means. In wormhole info there are 4 important strings. We actually will need to notice one, but I will explain them all. First string is where wormhole leads. It can be just unknown, and it is C1, C2, C3. It can be dangerous unknown, it means C4 or C5. It can be deadly unknown, it's C6. And high security, low security, null security. The next string is lifespan, and it can be not yet begun, so it has lifespan more than 24 hours. It can be beginning to decay, it's between 4 and 24 hours. It can be reaching at the end, and it means less than 4 hours. And less than 4 hours it can be anything, so it can be 1 second, it can just close in front of your eyes. So be careful with ones that is reaching the end. Next line is most important for us in case of rolling. This line tells us approximately what is remaining mass, and if it's not yet it does mean that it's over 50%. If it's not to critical degree, it does mean it's between 50 and 10%. Stability critically disrupted, it's less than 10%. Last line is about ship sizes, ship size limit. Very large ships is capitals, not super capitals. Larger ships it's battleships and below. Up to medium-sized ships is battle cruisers and below, and Nesta of course. And only the smallest ships is below 5 kilotons, it's frigates, destroyers and other small ships. Now when we have all information, let's get to roll. First roll is rage rolling, and rage rolling you can do when you exactly know that no one get through this wormhole, so it have full remaining mass. For explanation I will use 3 bars. All 3 bars explain one wormhole with 2 billion mass, and left one is 2 billion plus 10%, so it's biggest possible mass limit, 2.2 billions. Middle one is just normal mass, 2 billions, and right one is minimal mass, so minus 10%, it's 1.8 billions. I will illustrate on these bars what I explained. For rage rolling you start with doing 1000, and 1000 it's 2 battleships, 2 hot, 2 cold, 2 multiplied by 300 plus 2 multiplied by 200, total 1000. If after 1000 wormhole changes its state to not a critical degree, so it's halved, shrinked, like wormholes like to say, then it does mean that remaining mass is below 1000. So if it was minimal wormhole 1.8, after 1000 mass get through it, it has remaining mass 900. To finish it you just do another 1000, but in different order. You just do 2 cold, so it's 400, then 1 hot, back to home, it's 400 plus 300, 700, and it's 700 is still below minimum remaining mass. Last one battleship get through hot, another 300, it's 1000, and we know that it is below 1000 because it gets halved after 1000, and it should get close. If after first 1000 it does not get halved, then you just do 4 hot, 2 hot on one side, it's 600, then 1 hot back home, it's 900, and wormhole has above 1000, so it still did not close. And last one gets another 300, and it should close this wormhole, so it's 1.2 billion. It does cover maximum possible 2.2 in sum. Another one type of roll if you do not know mass, so someone possibly get through it, but you do not know who and on which ships, but you know that wormholes still have more than 50%, so it's not yet in info. Then you just get through it back and forth on battleship cold, so it's getting through with 200 mass, and you carefully watch wormhole info when it gets halved. And when it's halved, it does mean that minimal possible mass is 700. If it was minimal possible wormhole, it was 1.8. You are getting through back and forth with 200. Half of 1.8 is 900. So if it's below 900 and you get through to get it below 900, that minimal remaining mass is 700. Having 700 in mind, you're trying to close it. If you're on your home side, you're just getting on cold back and forth, so you're just getting 400, and minimal remaining mass is 300 now. And with that in mind, you get one cold on other side, so it's minimum 100, and one hot back to home. So it should get close. And if it's halved when you was on other side, then it's still 700, but you are on other side. You get hot back home, so it's minus 300, and remaining mass is now 400. And you're just doing hot in this wormhole, and now minimal remaining mass is 100, and you're getting hot back home, and again it should get close now. Another case, unknown remaining mass wormhole, but it is below 50%, and it is dangerous state because it can be smallest possible hole, and with smallest possible hole, as you recall, 10% can be 180, and your battleship cold mass is 200. If you get unlucky, and if it's remaining mass like 182, and it's still above 10%, but below 200, you can get on other side and it will collapse. So you'll stay on other side. So better to roll it carefully on Hector and with rolling like 130. But I usually didn't care about this and just doing colds back and forth on battleship with 200. And when it's crit, you either get back home and close it, and if it's get critted when you are home, you finish it with Hector. I will explain in next part how to do it. Okay, it doesn't matter how we get there, but now we have Wormhole that is on the edge of collapse by mass, and we are on home side, and we need it closed. So we just use Hector, we get to the Wormhole, turn on all mass entanglers, so our mass below 1 kiloton, and it's highly unlikely that we will get it closed on our way to other side. We get another side, we turn on our oversize afterburner, and get back home with mass 130 kilotons, and it should get closed. You can also do it with thorax, but thorax mass is 10 and 60, when Hector mass is 1 and 130. So on thorax you have much higher chances to get closed on other side, but it's still an option. Another important thing about rolling is critting wormhole, and by critting I mean you crit it but do not close it. It can be used if you want to block your static, because if you get closed, you will get new static in 1 minute. And if you get it critted, you are highly unlikely to have some gas, because a lot of people don't like mass critted wormholes. But some people still love them and can get to you in destroyers or frigates or any other small ships. But it's a safety measure that can be used. If you have a lot of attention to details, you can really carefully crit it and really carefully notice when it gets below 10% and finish it that close to 0. Then even a couple of frigates will get it closed. But usually people don't get so obsessive about it. Another thing worth noticing is closing small, medium and capital wormholes. For capital wormholes it's usually carriers, the cheapest and easy to work with. Usually a carrier can get close a wormhole in 2 runs, back and forth. For medium wormholes it's noses with special feet. I actually can't recall which one, but you can experiment with this. And for small wormholes it's Hector, which can get through on 1 mass and turn off mass entanglers and turn on oversized afterburner. But actually closing medium and small holes is a strange thing to do, and if you do this, think about it. Last topic of this video is appearing of K162. So when you rolled your static and new wormhole appeared, you have it in your probe window, you can scan it, you can find it, but at this moment it does not have exit node like K162 in any other place. Exit node will appear when you get through it, or if you do not get through it, after remaining wormhole life will hit 15 hours, each minute it have chances to appear. Wormholes with less than 15 hours life can get exit node even if no one gets through them. So what does it mean for safety? That even if your static life, basic static life, is 16 hours, after it gets rolled, you have 1 hour of perfect safety from this static. But keep in mind that you still can get guests through their wormhole, so someone can get K162, open it to you. So it's never perfectly safe in wormholes. That's all for today. Thank you for listening to me. Hope this was interesting. Special thanks to pilots supporting me on Patreon. See you in wormholes and fly dangerous.